How to create a dynamic formula in Microsoft Excel which updates daily as you add data. Imagine you are monitoring the level of an index or interest rate on a daily basis, and data is added to Excel on a daily basis. We would like to calculate the year-to-date return of the data every day without having to manually calculate the formula. What's the best way to do this? One way is to use a combination of index and match. In this case, we're looking at risk-free rate or 10-year treasury yields of US and Canada on a daily basis. Data is added on a daily basis. A year-to-date return is defined as the level of an index or interest rate on the last day that is reported divided by the value at the beginning of the year. Let's see how we do this. What is an index function? An index function returns a value or a reference of the cell at an intersection of a particular row or column. Basically returns the value of given an x and y position of a data point in the matrix. A match function returns the relative position of an item in an array that matches a specified value in a specified order. Let's see how we can implement this. Let's try to find the position of today's date. In this case, we're going to go one day back. We're on a weekend. The markets are closed on the weekend. In the time array. And notice we're going to go until the end of the sheet as data gets added, and we don't want to drag the formula each time. So we put up the array, we put up the value we're looking at. And then for the match type, we have to choose from 0, 1, or -1. A 0 match type returns an exact match. A -1 match type returns the smallest value that is greater than or equal to the lookup value, in which case the lookup array argument has been placed in descending order. A +1 match type returns the largest value that is less than or equal to lookup value, in which case the lookup array argument has been placed in an ascending order. In our case, we're going to use 0 because we want an exact match. Control 1, number, so we're going to see it in the format of a number. So today's date, if we're on a Friday, is on the 113th position of the time array. Let's use the index function. The index function, we first have to choose the array we're looking at. And in this case, we're looking at the benchmark yields. I'm going to go until the end of the sheet. We're going to choose the lookup array. We're going to choose the row number that we're at. And in this case, it is the 113th position. If we were looking at an array which had 2 or 3 columns and 2 and 3 rows, we can put up the location of the column number, the third column, the first row, and we get a data point for that point in the matrix or the array. If you set that to 0, in this case, nar 0, that means that the Excel would omit that column. And of course, area number. Area number is used if the array argument had been a collection of arrays, and the area number will determine which array to look at to find the value. In such case, once the formula is completed, we have to press Control-Shift-Enter to get the result. We have only one array in this case, so we don't need to populate those values. I'm going to add 3 decimal points. And we're going to get 0.699. $113 was in this F6 position, not F5. Now let's replace F6 with a match function and put it all in one formula. And voila, we get 0.699. If we divide this formula by the level of the index at the beginning of the year and lock it, -1, we get a return, and wrap an if error function around it. just because it's a division, and for some days the index or the level of an interest rate might not be reported, we see percentage level. The level of an index dropped by minus 61.5% since the beginning of the year. Now let's see this in action and remove some data points. Of course, the match function is going to return an NA because the data doesn't exist. Let's add data points. Input 0.6788, 0.699, and voila, function is working fine, and we don't really need this anymore because we're all put in one formula using index and match.